the coroners are the brothers of the killers. So you don't know what happened to Michael Brown. They don't know how many times he was shot yet. But they know that somehow some cigars went missing, as though white people don't steal from convenience stores.
I usually refrain from using vermin to make a point, but in this case I'll make an exception. Louis Farrakhan and his ilk are certainly just a part at the core of what's wrong with America at the moment. Those who twist the facts to fit their own agenda, who are far too intelligent to know that if they were to allow the sheeple in the audience a moment to actually consider truth, they would lose them, their worship, and of course the money they are all too willing to hand over to the denizens of American political and social sewers. The truth is always something more interesting than the fairy tale, and in the case of one Michael Brown, the truth is upfront and easy to understand, especially when you consider, and in case anyone needs any reminder, of how Ferguson all began.
This is what police say. They say they identify the man in that red cap as Michael Brown, and they say he is inside this store along with his friend Darian Johnson. So what they're saying is that they were in the store, and the shorter man, according to police, was the clerk, and you can see the individual in the white T-shirt, khaki shorts, hat, shoving, has the cigars in hand, walks out of the store.
Look, argue all you want, make all the excuses necessary to convince yourself, but there's no swaying from this truth and this fact. Michael Brown was a common criminal, the young behemoth who wandered into a convenience store, grabbed a handful of cigars, and when confronted by the store clerk, he used his imposing presence to threaten the much smaller man in a move anyone with half a brain cell would recognize as the obvious, "Who's going to stop me, you?" And he then exited the store, having committed what, under the federal rules of evidence, the measure that is used for every American, regardless of race or creed, was a strong arm robbery, a felony. And in the opinion of many experts on the law, it would have indeed been admissible in a court of law. And here's the kicker to it all. If Michael Brown had not committed this robbery, the police would not have been called. There would not have been an officer looking for someone of his description. There would have been no scuffle, no shots fired. No one would have died. Businesses wouldn't have been ransacked. And an innocent cop would not have watched his life unravel in the course of doing his job. And we would not have to watch as another slice of evidence revealing how far we have plummeted as a society is made so evident. Though to be fair, there were those who are not shocked in the least at this latest development in the saga of Ferguson, Missouri, and many people who applaud it.
As rain falls in Ferguson, Michael Brown's father removes the memorial that marks the spot where his son was shot to death. The effort by family and friends comes on what would have been Brown's 19th birthday. Michael Brown Sr. and Ferguson Mayor James Knowles have agreed to remove the Canfield Drive Memorial and install a permanent plaque on the sidewalk.
Not a day that goes by that I don't think about my son, and not a day that goes by that I don't think of how I can help other young men.
What will mark the spot soon is a plaque that talks about an afterglow of smiles Michael Brown left behind, an echo whispering softly down the ways, sunny days and happy memories. Certainly words that would leave one to follow in the footsteps of such a sterling individual, one to admire, one to be followed. This is America, and as such, we live in a country where almost anyone can erect a monument to anyone or anything. A plaque honoring Michael Brown is most certainly allowed. Nothing wrong with it as a personal statement, save for the fact it's misguided, doesn't deal in truth, and sends the wrong message to those same people Brown's father claims he's trying to reach. The generation of Mike Brown and those who believe and are encouraged to believe that far too often they are allowed to be above the law. How about a plaque asking those who read it to not break the law? Not try to wrestle a gun away from a cop, not getting into a fight with a cop over something you stole. How about starting a real movement to get the parents and guardians of this generation to honestly be involved in teaching them not to be fools and potential felons? Hey, here's a great idea. Working to not only ensure cops have a greater respect for the people they are paid to serve and rooting out the criminals in those ranks, but teaching the arrogant and entitled of this and other generations to show some respect and authority and be part of the solution instead of the crux of the problem. Excuse me for dishing out too much common sense and pointing out how far we've fallen and will continue to fall as a cogent and intelligent society. The more we continue to buy into the brainwashing bile of charlatans who misuse religion and social justice as a cause to make themselves wealthy and make fools of anybody and everybody who falls for their deceit. Be smart, America. That's my opinion, telling it like it is. Rock on, true believers. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. See you back Monday, right here on the fastest 60 minutes in news. This is The Hard Line.